my peeps. My peeps, you and me. 1, 2, 3, my peeps. My peeps, 1, 2, 3, you and me, my peeps.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the My Peep Show podcast, the inaugural episode. Did I say that right, Marty? Inaugural? Yeah. Can you say inaugural for an episode? Or is that like at events? Like, this is the inaugural parade for something. Let's just get started.
Isn't that a naval classification?
Inaugural? I don't know. We can't Google right now. So, all right, yeah. So this is the first episode of the My Peep Show podcast, and I am really excited to do this. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for me to get to know my family and friends, and like I told Marty, learn absolutely nothing about me, make sure none of my past comes up, but bring out all of my guests' past. That being said, I'm really excited to sit down with a good friend of mine, Marty Usery. Marty, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. So Marty and I we've probably known each other about 4 months?
Something like that. 4 or 5 months.
Something like that, right? And we find out, in this process that we actually have a lot of things in common. And so, it's funny because did you see my videos? You'd seen my Just Me Laughing videos beforehand, correct? Or had you not seen them?
Actually, when I met you, Jonathan was on YouTube, and I immediately met you and then watched videos.
Oh, okay, that's right. All right, that's right. So, and what's cool though is that you had wanted, you were interested in doing some comedic videos, correct? Something like that.
Yeah.
And so in this process, we found out that, like I said before, that we had a lot of things in common, comedically as well. But the cool thing about it is that Marty is very, and I'm going to say this probably a lot because it needs to be said, Marty is very musically talented. You have your own CD, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But before we get started, before we get deep into your music career, first off, where were you born, Marty?
I was born at Bradley Memorial Hospital in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Cleveland, Tennessee. Wow, I love the fact that you give me the hospial. I wasn't expecting that. What do you remember the room, or is this something that's not in the notes?
219.
219. Okay, that's very good. Is that the natural birth ward? Is it the C-section ward? What is that? I know we went too deep already. I'm sorry.
Special circumstance. Special.
Okay, got you. The special ward. But no, so Cleveland, Tennessee. How long were you there? I mean, was it most of your life? Was it school and everything like that?
21 years.
21 years. Wow. So, all right. Now, I know I'm still getting to know you, Marty. So I have to ask you, when you were in school, growing up, were you a socially out there? Because, I mean, you're the type of guy, I think you and I are a lot alike. We can talk to anybody. And it's to me, I feel like it's a great character trait to have, is that if you can just, everybody is your friend, has that potential to be your friend. Have you always been like that way, or did you kind of hit a point in 17, or you go, you know what, I should just start talking to people?
I was pretty much always the coolest guy in school. In my mind.
The quarterback.
No. I was always social. I enjoy that, and probably too social, but I had good luck. I had a sister that was also, or have a sister that was also very social, and she sort of paved the way for me.
All right, so
people knew me before I, had to make an impression. There was one made for me, so that helped.
Awesome. So you weren't shy. You didn't have that shy streak in you.
I was really shy when I was young, but as I got older, I found, I think creative types that we both are, you find that you overcome that by being silly or social or whatever. So I think that I overcame a lot of the fears, the social anxieties, which I still have. I don't like to go through the drive-through, which I do.
Oh, I hate.
But
That's
I can't
so funny.
stand the drive-through.
Let's talk about that because I'm the same way. Like literally, it's like getting prepared to go on vacation. Let's make sure we've got everything figured out here, guys, before I even pull up to the speaker. I don't even want to pull up to the speaker beforehand. And so, like, I love Nicole, but like, I'm just used to, let's just say Coke, burger, fries, #1 combo. Like my wife Nicole, she does the cherry limeade, or is it cherry limeade or something like that?
Probably cherry limeade.
Yeah, cherry limeade thing, and I'm just like, you've gone off course here. This is gonna mess me up.
I need 3 cherries. I want a cheeseburger with no cheese and extra ketchup.
Tater tots with limeade on top. But no, but so back to the school thing. So were you like a troublemaker? Did you ever have that issue, or were you really, pretty straight kid and,
I was a good kid. I really was. I was.
Straight A's? Was it a straight A thing?
Most of the time.
Wow.
In high school, junior high and high school. Well, I was.
See, now I feel inferior, and
right.
a straight A person's in this room.
Well, I have good retention, and so like in elementary school and started in junior high school, and I could make straight A's without studying. And then it got to a point where I was too lazy to continue that, to actually work hard for it. So, but I think I graduated with like a 91 or 92 average, I think. So it's pretty decent, And a 700, I was like 80th.
So I would say out of 700, I would probably have been in your school. I would have been in the 690 range, I think, because it was that bad. I with school, I was very much. I was just ready to get out of school. I want to be a stand-up comedian. So my thought process is, why? Where will geometry help me in this stand-up comedy phase of my life? Why do I even care about French 2 and things of that nature? So
and you were proven wrong.
Yeah,
comedy is like half geometry.
Yeah, and I also was proven wrong that I didn't become a stand-up comedian. So life got.
Just like I didn't become a famous musician. That happens for like 99.9% of us.
That's true. But okay, so moving on, you go through the high school thing. Did you go to college?
Yep.
Okay, so where did you go?
I went a couple of years to Cleveland State Community College, and then I went several more years to MTSU and graduated there.
Okay, so now when you got out of high school, did you know exactly what you wanted to do? Or was that musician thing? Because, obviously, as I mentioned before, you're a musician as well. Is that something that you started early? We can go ahead and start talking about that. Did you start doing that in high school, middle school, or junior high, whatever?
I still don't know what I want to do. That answers your question. That's why I'm a sales guy, because that's what everybody that doesn't, either that or you're in the restaurant business, and I've done both. But I started, I love music from an early age. I know I'm smacking him.
No, you're good.
I loved music from early age, was very interested in why certain songs moved me a certain way. So I was the kid, that had the cassette recorder that was recording his favorite song, waited, hours and hours to get my favorite song, and make my mixtape or whatever it is.
Would you ever let it record overnight? Because I did that a lot. I would hit record on the radio and go, let me see what I come up with in the morning. Let's see what's on the radio.
I've done where I've got to go eat supper, so I'll put it on and let it go for an hour. But so that, I knew that I loved it, and and you're going to ask influences, I'm sure, at some point, but I did have some, influences within my family. One uncle didn't play music, but just loved all the crazy out there stuff and got me into that. Another did play guitar, and he showed me a little bit. And, so when I turned 16, me and funny enough, my golfing buddies, we said, let's form a band. Okay, let's get stuff for Christmas. So we got instruments for Christmas.
No kidding. Seriously, that's how it started.
Yeah, so, and I got, actually, one of my uncles had given me a guitar, so I got it strung up. But the other two guys, one got a guitar and the other got a bass, and on our 16th birthday, we decided we were going to be musicians.
It's funny. I would never imagine like James Hetfield going, me and Lars and Kurt, we were out on the driving range.
Probably because they didn't. They were although Lars was a nearly professional tennis player. I mean, he was.
Yeah, but man, he that dude is seriously sickly in shape too. I mean, you've got to play some of the double bass. Like he's done some double bass. I know Metallica S&M, which we're getting off and I don't care, but Metallica and S&M is like one of the greatest concert videos I've ever seen. Have you ever seen that? Do you like Metallica?
I do like some Metallica.
Yeah.
I'm a Ride the Lightning.
Oh, okay. See, I'm a
Justice
Jason.
for All, and then up through the Black Album, and then I kind of lost it after the.
Yeah,
I love
you
the
started.
Black Album.
What about this Load? When you kind of started going, okay, the
Yeah.
hair's gone. And
Well, I don't know. I mean, because I would never say that I was a huge Metallica fan, but I do like a lot of those songs from those time periods. I guess from mid '80s to mid '90s is maybe a good.
Okay, let me ask you.
I just haven't listened since. There may be something I would love.
I have not listened to their stuff in quite a while. I stopped actually kind of listening to them after Jason Newsted, their bassist, left. I just thought he was like such a great. I thought he was Metallica for the Metallica that I liked. But anyways, so what was there a band or musician that stands out to you that you can think of at the moment that made a huge influence on you at a young age that you go, oh wow, they're somebody who I just love.
I could never say just one.
That's fine.
I have a few. Huge Queen fan, like every album. I remember one of the first things I remember ever trying to record was Another One Bites the Dust. So that shows my age there. But I love Flash Gordon, that movie, and they did all the music, and so I didn't even realize when I was really little how much I liked them. And then the Moody Blues is one that I have every album, in the Beach Boys. Those are probably the three. The Beatles are back there. I mean, really love their techniques. I don't listen to them as much as those, but with that being said, I mean, I was a huge child of the '80s, so I mean, I loved like the Aha and David Bowie from the '80s, and of course I went back to the '70s and like just about all that. But I really like the synth pop, and I like the heavier stuff. So, but those three, I mean, I learned a lot. The harmonies, all three of those bands are really big into harmonies, and they also do they're what I like to call kitchen sink kind of bands. Everything's in there, every style of music.
Oh, that's good. I've never
tons
heard
of
that
different
before.
instruments, and that's the album that I did when we get into it was kind of an homage to that, because I really put a lot more in it than I would normally do. But this may be my one thing. This is my bucket list. I'm going to throw every instrument, every melody, every harmony. And I play the guy that produced it, Cody Smith. He played the drums on a couple tracks, but I played everything else, sang every other part except for the kids.
Awesome.
They had a couple little things in there. So
that's so awesome. I would definitely, I could probably say definitely the first band that I remember making a huge influence to me was the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys were huge for me because I remember at a young age, my mom would always listen to the radio in the car or at home while she cleaned, and so the Beach Boys were just this band that even to this day, man, I make sure my two young boys understand how awesome the Beach Boys are.
That's cool
Brian
that there's
Wilson.
a connection there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just love that. Man, Brian Wilson is just on a whole nother level as a songwriter, and he's just.
I have 2 books of his that talks about the process and stuff. You might be interested.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
Stuff.
That would be awesome to read. Now, you also said Queen. I didn't realize for a long time until I got older, because I love the movie Highlander. But man, they did that. Did they do every song for Highlander?
They did every song.
Man, that was so amazing to think. You said Highlander. What was the other movie?
Queen.
No.
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
The 1980, the really cheesy.
I've never seen Flash Gordon. No, I've not.
Interview over. No, I'll let you borrow that DVD.
Yeah,
Just looking at the stuff that you have, you would like it, but you have to understand it's campy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
no,
but it's good.
I'm totally fine with that. I can watch campy. I mean, I love MST3K, Mystery Science Theater 3000. So I can actually watch. I don't know if you know who MST3K is. You know. I know, but I'm just. Yeah, that's right. We've had this discussion.
Facts.
That's right. You sung it on the radio,
TV,
the phone. Excuse me. That's right. Gosh, I forgot. Marty.
Now you have to pay them.
That's true. I have to edit that out now. Thanks, Marty. But no, so you guys kind of get together and decide, hey, let's make it. Now, did you self-teach or did somebody else teach you, or was it did you guys all kind of get together and go, all right, let's see what we can come up with and what kind of sound we have? How did that all come together as far as your band, your first band? Is that your only band, by the way, or?
No, I have.
Okay, so your first band.
First band, the high school band. I took like 2 months worth of lessons, and
did that do you any good?
Yeah, it did. I took lessons twice, 2 different times, Actually, I guess 3 different times, but for short periods in there. But I never could get what I wanted out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to learn a certain thing, and they were like, okay, now you want to learn Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I'm like, I don't want to learn that, So I did mostly self-teach myself, but I needed the fundamentals, and I did get help. And, of course, I learned from friends, and one of the other guys took lessons, and then the bass player, he just taught himself. But I've taught myself every other instrument that I've learned. I've taught myself. But once you have an understanding of the notes and the melodies, and you can get a book or get online and watch. I mean, so I still learn to this day. I still get on YouTube all the time and say, I want to learn this technique. I want to learn something.
It's so amazing the benefits to YouTube today.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't even imagine trying to learn an instrument back then, because I've tried to learn electric guitar and used YouTube, and it was an amazing tool to use. I couldn't even imagine trying to learn how to play music, any kind of music, before YouTube, because now it's like, okay, I want to learn how to play Seven Nation Army, and let me just type in Seven Nation Army in YouTube, and boom,
there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I can read a little bit of music. I did take music theory in college, but I like to play by ear. I mean, I can pick it all out, and that's just much easier for me. But
was that your goal? Let me ask, did you want to be a musician?
I did. I'm not a betting man in the fact that I know the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
I know the work that you have to put into it, and I think my priorities, even more than music, have been family and relationships, and I knew that wouldn't.
You were a realist then about it, basically.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I'll go to MTSU and I'll go through the recording industry program, and then learn how to be an engineer, do that. Be on the back side of the music industry, and maybe there'd be a better opportunity. The first class I went to, he goes, this is a bottleneck. So there's X hundred people here. 2 of you are going to make any money doing this. And so I quickly, well, not quickly, but over that first year, I kind of petered out of the, I mean, my interest waned, because at the time I didn't enjoy that. I wanted to play. I wanted to write, and mixing and editing and all that I did not enjoy.
Oh, really?
And so it was really like it wasn't fun. Now I like it a lot better. I still don't, I need to learn more and more about there's so many intricacies in making something sound good, Yeah. And
it's amazing, because when I listen to you've sent me samples of stuff. You even did, and if it's not known yet, I'll definitely let it be known now, that you did the intro and outro for this show, and it's amazing that you said there's still a lot of intricacies, because when I hear the stuff that you do, and I guess it's the same when I've made videos before, because some people look at videos and go, oh man, that's amazing. I think, there's so many things that you're missing right there, but you do such a great job from just the samples stuff that you sent, much less the CD that you made. So okay, first band you have. Okay, when's the second band come along? Is this during college as well? Is this at MTSU?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And that was the Davenports. And we actually had I would say, a pretty decent impact on the local music scene. Obviously, not much I've ever, or you would know me sooner or better or something. But we, it's a really interesting story.
Okay.
It's very long.
That's great, because guess what? This is a podcast for stories.
It's about an hour long. No. So,
wrap it up. Put it in 30 seconds. No, go ahead.
So I roomed with my bass player from the previous band. We moved up together, and we wanted to have a band. We want to start a band, and first day of class, I sit beside a guy. And he looked like a preppy guy. He was not any musician type at all. I probably looked the same to him. But and then we got to talking. He just ran in a class of like 500 people. He randomly sat down beside me, and he's like, we realized we played music. And ended up, he lived across the street from me in walking distance. And that was the
music phase.
Yeah, he became the bass player. His roommate was the keyboard player, and then my roommate ended up he drummed some, because he could also play drums, and then also was a DJ. So he did some of that, but he ended up he left and wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to get back to the bass and play heavier music. So he left, and we auditioned a couple of guys, and this one guy comes in and sits down with us like he owns the place. Because you get a lot of, what can I do? Yeah. He comes in like with a chip on his shoulder and gets down there and starts banging on it. We're like, this is the guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we played. We had some house parties, and you know nothing was really happening for quite a while. We actually played here, we played at Center Hill Lake on a houseboat, believe it or not. But nothing was really clicking, and then we opened up for some bands. And it was starting to pick up.
Uh-huh.
And one of the venues, the Borough there, had a Friday night opening. Couldn't find anybody, and said, "Hey, can you guys do it?"
Now, did you guys call around and say, "Hey, look"? I mean, did you guys do that yourself? Like, "Hey,
yeah,
okay,
we booked ourselves."
Gotcha.
But we had gotten to know them from being an opening act.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wanted to kind of move off. There was a point where I was the lead singer and guitar player, and they were like, "This just ain't working. You know? You're not a front man.
Mm-hmm.
You sing fine. We love the way you write, love the way you play, but you're just not."
Is that crazy to be confronted with that?
Yeah. I was like, wow, but I understood what they're they're looking at the whole picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I said, well, I'll tell you what. They said that, and then right about the same time we got that call, and I said, look, it's 2 weeks away or a week away or whatever. You're not going to find anybody in that amount of time. So we're going to do this show. I'm going to be your front man. And
wow, that's some authority.
Yeah,
right
and
there.
then
That's big.
we'll go from there. But they also said, hey, they were fine with that. But they said, your problem is they said live every waking moment like you're a rock star, and that can be good and bad. I mean, the good part is it's just confidence. The bad part is you don't want everything that goes with that necessarily. But that's what they said, and that's what I started to do. And we had that show and packed it out, and
Seriously.
It was huge. And then we played. We were the regular Friday and Saturday night group.
And were you
all
lead?
through Murfreesboro? Yeah,
Wow.
and I stayed. Yeah, they're like, after that, they're like, we're fine, we're cool.
Yeah,
but
cool.
but really, what they were trying to do, I think, was just give me a wake up call.
Yeah.
You got to step up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, because I know that I'm not good with that. I'm not good with that.
I wouldn't.
It would probably tear me down a bit. Like, dang, man, because you, at least me, like, you kind of think. I think I'm pretty good at this, and then to be told that, and it's not like they said, well, you suck. I understand what you're saying, that they basically said, you're good. It's just that lead thing. And that's cool, though, that you took ownership of that, said, hey, look, 2 weeks, that's a big thing to do, because you come back with that. And that's cool that you guys eventually came up with this, hey, okay, look, stick it out. You're it now. So I have a question for you. That first time you did that packed house, how nervous were you? Was it like, well, I could be just the bassist now.
Yeah, we had been playing. We'd been out in front of people.
Do you remember the first time you played in front of a crowd? Do you remember that?
I was super nervous. I don't hardly get nervous anymore, really. But,
right.
A little bit. And it depends on the venue. But, I was probably nervous. If I was nervous, it was for 5 seconds. After that, it was just an adrenaline rush. And it was one of the best nights, musically, of my life. They had this, we took the drum riser down and put it out. So it was like a what is it called when the runway for like a model or something. So I would walk out there. I would go out into the crowd.
That's awesome.
And it was a lot of fun. And we played like the Exit Inn in Nashville.
Shut up.
We
really?
We played the Inn across the street. A lot of indie bands played there. Of course, Exit Inn, everybody's played there. Willie Nelson, the Police, Steve Martin.
Yeah.
We played in Memphis, the same place. Have you ever heard of Jeff Buckley? I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Yeah, he's really cool. Died young, didn't have a lot of stuff, but we played at the bar that he played at all the time before he died. No, actually, he played there before he died, of course, and we played after he died. But just a couple of years,
right.
but still.
That's cool that I didn't. I had no idea you played at the Exit. So that's
that was the big one. We played opposite of River Stages or whatever it is, and the big thing in Nashville. So nobody came, and we were opening. We weren't the headliners,
Is it hard to because? Did you guys ever have shows where? And this is nothing against you guys. Did you have shows where not many people were there, and you're kind of like, let's just bring it anyways? Or does it kind of bring you down? Can that affect your performance?
Both.
Yeah.
We've played, like that situation, Widespread Panic was playing at the same time, like half a mile down the road. And that was, you're talking about that was the late 90s, early 2000s
right.
when that
so
was everybody.
Yeah, that was huge.
And, we played some other times, or we oversaturated ourselves sometimes. We play so many times that, your loyal following just wasn't going to come all the time.
Right.
And there's been times where we were like, bring it. And then there was times where like, we've packed it in early. and back then I was, you depended on,
Question. Okay, so I have a question for you. Let's say you're let's say you got the day of a show and you're sick. How hard is that? Is that difficult to go, oh gosh, I do not want to do this. I've got the flu or my throat is jacked up. I mean, how difficult is that? Is that like a whole nother level of mental step it up? Or do you just go, I just want to get through this and get it over with?
I don't recall having a performance where I was like, had the flu
Oh, okay.
or
That's
something
good.
like that, but just the last is it the last performance or two performances ago at Robert's Diner?
Yeah, it
I
was
lost
the last
my
one.
voice,
Yeah, that was
and
the
I
last.
couldn't sing. And I mean, I'm kind of a little bit scratchy today, but I mean, I really thought this is not even worth giving a performance. I couldn't hit the high notes. I couldn't, the things that I feel like are signature to what I do. I couldn't do it, and it's a big bummer,
Yeah.
But most people. One thing I learned early about music is that most people don't pay attention, so you're okay.
Yeah,
It's the ones that do, then you
Yeah.
got to worry about that. But
it's cool that you mentioned that that feeling that first time, when you got that crowd, because like I had the same, I had that, I can totally relate to that, and it's so hard to explain to somebody who's not performed in front of people before. The first time I did my open mic, I was scared out of my mind, and I was thinking, how on earth am I going to do this? Like this, I knew this is what I always wanted to do. I was like, finally, the stand-up thing. But I know when I got up there, but afterwards, that feeling of like, man, you just can't explain it, getting in front of people and that pressure of sink or swim. And that's what it's all about. But I've also been at the other end of the spectrum where the comedy's not hitting and you go up there and you're just like, oh man, this just sucks. I just want to get this over with, get it over with as soon as possible. So like, I guess I understand both sides of that, what you were talking about, where you're just like, let's just get it.
I would think comedy would be so much harder. I think the rhythms are the same and the repetition and the memorization, but the music, a lot of times people absorb the music, but you're waiting, you're focused on the comedy because you're waiting for the punchline. It's a spoken word, it's a single person. It's not, I hit a guitar, I hit a bad note. People don't notice because they're eating or they're listening, but you're like, they're like, okay, build up. Ooh.
Yeah, and music is, man, everybody loves music. You can almost be in, I can't speak for everybody, but like if you're going to see somebody live, then you're there to listen to good music. You know what I mean? If you go to see a comedian, you have to be, if you're in a bad mood that day, if you're in man, they better, I spent this much money, like there's all those factors that go into comedy. So I can't compare it to performing musically because I think that would be just as difficult to know that you've got to, number one, like stay together here, guys, or what if you've got one guy who's he's lost it? Do you keep going? And that would scare me as well.
Before.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's when you go from, and that's another thing that you don't have the luxury of. You go from a legitimate music act to a comedy act. So then everybody laughs and you play it up.
Okay, so that was your second band, right? Is that the only? Or is there one more?
I played bass
Or you've played with people before?
I have played in bands, but those were the two maybe long-standing. And the first one, well, I guess both of them had some revolving members and stuff. But the one in college was 3 years.
I was going to ask, do you still keep in touch with those guys?
Most of them. And I did for a long time. Some it's become hard. One of them's not on social media, so it's really hard to keep up with him. But I've gone to all three of their weddings throughout the years. Even one is 2009, and that was about almost 10 years after I was over 10 years after we met. So, and it's like Omaha, Nebraska, so we're taking a big, big thing. So yeah, we do, and not as well as we should. I mean, it is dropping off,
Well, but it's cool though that you guys, no matter what, you've always got those 3 years, man, where you guys were family. And
I feed off that. And that's still, my ego is still based much on that, but I have a good wife that keeps me in check. That was 20 years ago.
Is it, let's see, how do I want to put this? Like, is it awkward to see you guys growing up, knowing that you guys, like you're married now and you got kids, but you guys used to rock out, man? Or is it kind of like really cool to see you guys know that you had it, you understand that was just a part of your life, and
I think the latter. I don't know that there's, the only awkwardness that I've had is there's a little pain and the fact that we were so close. I mean, we were really close, and that is gone, and it's gone forever. I mean, there's always that we lived in that bubble where, I would walk into a restaurant and I'm like, oh, he's in the band or something out here, and it wasn't big. I'm not comparing it to like a grand level, but it was a small, a local celebrity. That's what I love to say. A local. I don't think is that a
that's
so
good.
you feel that, and it's like, oh, I'm on top of the world, and then you miss that, but you also miss. We were really tight. We fought. We had fist fights. We did all kinds of stuff. But we were like brothers. I mean, we loved each other. We still do. We disbanded because the drummer, 9/11, he left. He went to the military, and we said we wouldn't stay together. We said that, and then we tried to keep the same name, and it just wasn't good. So we just let it all go. So it was one day. We had it all, and then the other day was like, we're just letting it go. It's just going to be gone.
Wow, man, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like I said, though, that's cool that you guys at least have that time. I couldn't even imagine what that's like to know that you were that close. Is that do you still deal with that? Like, is it like, oh man, I try not, or that you don't even think about it. Let's not even think about it.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's. With time, time heals everything, I guess.
Right, that's true.
So with the passage of time, I just don't think about it as much.
Yeah.
I'm not, I can be very sentimental, but when I have to move on, it's just, that's just the way it is. And, I understand that. So, I think about them. I see them on Facebook. I'll communicate with them that way some. But, I've had so much happen since then that I really don't have room, I guess, to really give it much more thought than I do at this point after so long, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. And before we move on to, bigger and better, I shouldn't say bigger, but bigger things for Marty. Hey, do you want to play something for us?
Sure.
Yeah, let's get the guitar out here while Marty gets prepared. This has been awesome so far, man. I'm really thankful so Marty's brought his guitar here. This is not a studio. Let's just say the basement. But somebody else is there's probably like 60,000 other podcasts is like, this is called the basement. But no, this really is a basement. So
I have this. I don't know if I'll.
And you can play whatever you want to play, man.
Right.
So you're do your thing and. Let's see. Are you having fun, Marty? And hey, I haven't made you break down yet, so that's a. I got close. Dang it!
Kind of sounds out of tune, but I guess that's. I was, debating between two different songs. You could play One Rainy Day that you've done such a nice video for.
Oh.
And then there's another one that I like too.
Hey, play whatever you want to play, man. It's all yours. Mic is yours.
Well, I'll play this song, and if you want, after I play it, we can break it down about how it came about. It's
all right.
Kind of interesting. Like my skin becomes a part of me. When I'm cold and lonely, you're the one that covers me. Oh, you're the one that covers me. A great big blue sky when I'm standing in the rain. When I'm soaked and lonely, you're the one that covers me. Oh, you're the one that covers me. Oh, how was I to know I could never let you go? How was I to know my strongest. You're stronger than I'll ever be. Oh, you're stronger than I'll ever be. Oh, oh, oh. How was I to know I could never let you go? How was I to know I could never let you go? How was I to know I could never let you go? I could never let you go. How was I to know I could never let you go?
Awesome. Great job, man.
Thank you.
That was cool. So where did that come from?
Well, with my job now, my previous job, do a lot of traveling, spent a lot of time in the car. And so I had this, it's funny, well, I don't listen to a lot of Reba. My wife loves Reba, but I was listening to Fancy, and I don't know what it was. This doesn't even, I don't know how this even comes with it. But something, or maybe it was another one of her songs. I listened to a few of them. But the idea came in my mind, when I'm at my weakest, you're always there for me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm at my strongest, you're stronger than I'll ever be. And I wanted to try to, that was actually the lyrics for the whole song until I could come up with the others. And I thought, to me, that's probably my favorite line I've ever written. And I thought it was very poignant to say that, hey, when I'm weak, you're there for me. But when I'm strong, you're still there. And it's, Sarah would kill me. A lot of it is in her there, but I think in God. And there's a lot of ways. There are friendships. There's always that somebody like that that's your rock. My parents, lots of different people. But to make it really a love song, I thought, man, I just, that's pretty, sounds kind of standard. And I do write a lot of standard type of love songs. And I thought, we'll try to come up with an idea of something that maybe wouldn't be an analogy. So that's why I said your love is like my skin. I thought, this part is kind of gross, but in a way, just trying to think of ways to say, your love covers me. Your love is my skin. It becomes a part of me. And then how was I to know I can never let you go? It's just, I hate to say that's kind of filler, but it's a poignant thing that I think people can catch on to. So that's
how old is the song?
I don't. They all run together, but it was
in a couple years.
No, it's on the album. And the album came out in 2012, believe it or not. The album's 5 years old.
I know, that blew my mind.
The idea of it is probably around a couple years before that. It's probably 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
Just guessing.
Yeah, man, it's great. That sounded really good, too. I hope it sounds as awesome for people listening to it as it just did in my headphones. So that's the first time I've ever had, singing and instrument on this microphone. So let's hope it sounds as awesome to the people that are listening as it did for me being able to sit here and listen to it.
If I don't sound good, we'll blame it on the mic.
It's always the mic.
So I sure felt good singing it.
If this podcast sucks, it's really on the mic. It's not on me or Marty.
It chose what we said.
But no, so you were talking about moving on to bigger things. Let me ask you something. You've mentioned your wife, Sarah. When did you guys meet? How old were you? Oh boy, I could get you in trouble with that one. Round about what age were you?
About mid-20s.
Mid-20s.
I had did my.
How did you guys meet? Let's start. How did you meet?
Well, I was gonna say I did my Tommy Boy time where my dad was like, "You went to school for 7 years?" And hey, a lot of guys go to school for 7 years. Yeah, they're called doctors. He actually watched that with me at Murfreesboro in like my 6th year, and I don't know why. And he saw that part. He loved it. He said, "That's you. That's you." But anyway,
great.
So it's 2002. This story goes back. You talking about stories like we're gonna do a 5-hour podcast, but
man, I don't care if this thing we're good on time.
this goes back to me. This goes back before Sarah. When I was, I guess, out of high school a year or two, I helped out with the youth group for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Made a lot of friends with the youth, and randomly, one of those youth was at a place, restaurant or bar, something we were at the time. He's like, Marty, and I'm like, oh hey, and he looked totally different. He was a little punk rock kid, spiked hair, and now he had long hair and like a beard, and I'm like, Brandon, is that you? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I just moved up here, and he's like, I don't have a place to stay. I've been living on my friend's couch for 3 weeks or something. And my roommate and I at the time had an extra bedroom. We'd tried 3 roommates and it didn't work. But we had one, and I was there to help out somebody that will pay me. But so he became my roommate. And when he had his move-in party, she came to that party. Sarah did, and some random person I don't even remember. And I'd had a show the night before, and I will admit, Brandon, I'm sorry if you ever hear this. I mean, I did not want to be there. And my other roommate did not want to be there.
Right.
I hate to say that, but we didn't. But I was there. My roommate, he didn't show up till like midnight or something. So I was there, and I was playing my music. I was kind of ignoring everybody. And then so all the musicians in Murfreesboro, you can throw a rock and a musician, they all filter in my room when we play. But this girl, Sarah, I should go back. She was there like before anybody else with this guy, and then she left and came back. And I remember seeing her and thinking, man, she was really pretty,
Mm-hmm.
And so me, you don't want to hear her version. My version is much better. But me and this other guy were both talking to her, and she was hanging around us and everything. And I thought, man, I'd really like to ask this girl out. And so she was about to leave, and I'm like. And it's something, and this hasn't happened very often in my life, but something said, it's now or never. If you don't say something to her.
The little man, the little voice.
Yeah. If you don't say something to her now, you'll never see her again. I just had that feeling, So I would just, hey, can I get your number? She was new to the area. It's like, I can show you around or whatever. Just, whatever, I mean, I wasn't like, hey, let's go out on a date.
I work with Murfreesboro Tours.
Right.
So
I'll show you all the CD plays. No. But, and so she's like, yeah, so she gave me her number, and then she left. And that other guy goes, hey, man, can I have her number?
What?
And I said,
what?
And then my first inclination was no. And I thought, I'm confident in myself. I gave him the number.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I did. But
wow.
If
that is confidence.
If you would have seen,
yeah, sure, you can have it.
If you'd have seen the two of us, you'd say, he's like, just for friends. I'm just trying to make friends. I'm like, so they actually.
That's some serious game too. Hey man, that girl you just met. Could I have her number? But dude, I just want you to know, it's just straight up on a friend.
You know what I told him? I said, why didn't you ask her if you wanted it?
Oh,
and that's why he said, oh, just friends. Like, well, you should have asked her. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And so he called her, and they actually went to a movie or something. Like between, because at that time I was too cool. I did like the 5-day wait to call.
There you go. The little.
I thought I was cool. Look, I know I wasn't that cool. I know that, but at the time, yeah. But anyways, we
okay, so hold on. You call her. Do you call her that first time? And were you like, hey, would you like to go out? Or what was that like? Or did you just, was it like.
She was eating tuna fish. So I don't forget those things. And I was sitting out on my front doorstep. It was during the daytime on a Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And.
Time? Around.
It was the afternoon.
3:36, 4.
Probably 4 or 5.
4.
But that I don't know for sure.
Let's say 5:07.
Okay, 5:03. 3:05. No, but. And I was like,
were you good on the phone? Like, were you like, yeah, so anyways.
You'll have to ask her that. I feel like I was. But
okay, see, I mean, this is from your perspective, though. Maybe at some point I can get her perspective.
She's going to listen to this and hate me. But, no, I think so. I had.
Was Marty's game strong? Just say it. Come on. Yeah, it was. You can tell.
She was younger than me. She was impressionable. She didn't know better. I think that was the truth. That's more like it.
There we go. See, we got to the bottom of it there.
Yes.
So, like the first date, was that really? Did that go great? Was there a moment that you go, wow, this is really cool. I would love to hang out with her again, or was it like friends for a little while?
No, I think we liked each other.
That's cool.
I mean, we didn't. I'm trying to think. I took her to. There were some things going on, and I took her, and then the next day we went like to Goodwill and shopped, and then
Goodwill. And for anybody that's listening, if you're looking for somewhere to go on that second date and you're just not sure.
Hey, when we were college kids, everybody got their clothes at Goodwill.
That is true. Like, why is Goodwill
especially the creative tops? I was looking for my '70s shirts and stuff. But
that is true. Goodwill really hits in college towns.
Yes.
I mean, like the Goodwill here in Cookeville is like always freaking packed. And I remember as a kid, there's no way when I was 18 to 20, which we're the exact same age, aren't we? Like, because I'll be 40 this year.
I just turned.
And
40.
you just turned 40. But I don't remember Goodwill when I was coming out of high school. And none of my friends certainly said, hey, let's go over to Goodwill and see if they got
That's
their...
a cool place to go.
But so, okay, fast forward. How much, was it 2 years, 3 years for you guys got married, or 1 year?
Year and 3
Like, don't
months.
say 4 weeks, because
Year and 3 months.
I don't feel bad. Year and 3 months.
Yeah, were
you still playing at the time? Like,
yeah, I was still playing at the time. The band had just broken up a few months before, so I had the second kind of incarnation out. We changed the name to the Disappearing Nurses. We had the other band, the Davenports, had a song that we'd just written, and we didn't have a name for it. And right before we went on to play, on the news, there was a headline, Disappearing Nurses. And I said, that's going to be the name of the band.
Disappearing Nurses.
The name of the song. And it had nothing to do absolutely with the song. And then I thought, well, that's catchy. And it's something that you wouldn't normally put together, so it probably wouldn't be a band name anybody had because it was a random thing.
And what's cool, it covers you later on down the road, because if you guys get back together, the Reappearing Nurses.
There you go.
Boom. I mean, I love how you thought ahead on that.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Have you ever, and you don't have to answer this, did you ever write her a love song? Have you, this is, I was thinking about you, and you don't have to sing it, obviously, and you don't have to tell me what the name is, but did you ever kind of go...
Every love song that I've written...
Is it have that influence of Sarah?
Absolutely.
Wow,
there's
that's
nobody
great.
else.
That's great. Well, obviously, I know nobody else.
Right, but that's where that's the inspiration. It's, being married and loving somebody is not always fun. It's not always easy, but when you find the right person, it's... it's easy to come up with material for it.
Yeah, and as a musician, being in love's got to be like the greatest thing as far as inspiration is concerned.
Problem with that, this album is a happy Marty. Some of the songs aren't, because the songs were probably written over the course of 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. But, like the band before... We actually had an album too, but we didn't release it. But if you went to the shows, you might have gotten it. None of them were happy because I was a tumultuous time in my life. So my creativity, I think, goes down. As far as like songs that everybody likes to listen to. Now I'm like writing the Neil Diamond Beatles.
Which, by the way, Neil Diamond is so underrated. I mean, like, there's a lot of people today that still don't. I think so. I'm a Neil Diamond fan because my mother loved Neil Diamond. Now, are you a Neil Diamond fan?
Yes. My dad was an Air Supply fan, and unfortunately, I like some of their songs now. I hated them at the time. I actually could play 2 songs, but again, for copyright reasons, I probably shouldn't play them on this podcast. You got the way to move me, Larry.
You got the way to move me. Yeah, actually, that's probably my favorite Neil Diamond song. Mm-hmm. Sweet Caroline, obviously.
If you come to the diner,
which we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, I'm playing two Neil Diamond
nice.
songs, so.
That's great. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. Let's get back to the music a little bit. Now you play today. Let's say, was it 2012 when your first album came out? How did that come about? Did you go, you know what, I'm going to make my own album? How does somebody get that? Where did your motivation come to just do it? That's amazing to me.
Well, just like you can see a pattern even with you doing my first video, somebody has to prod me or do it for me, unfortunately. Yeah. And it's not really laziness. A lot of it's just the fear of just doing it and getting it done, Yeah. But I've always had some kind of recording setup. Even if it was, I used to do a karaoke machine that had 2 cassettes on it, and I would record, and then I would flip the tape, flip it over to the other side and play. And you could use 2 tapes and you could actually multi-track.
Yeah, well.
It wasn't very good quality, but it would help me get my ideas down, So I had a pretty decent setup, and I've just recorded, and I kept telling my wife, I'm going to do it now, I'm going to do it. And she's like, just don't talk about it anymore. Just do it. I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. Otherwise, don't talk about it anymore. And then
that's a big step. Before we go any further,
Yeah.
that's such a huge step, because there's so many people that talk about, I really want to do this thing. That goes in life, really. I mean, there's so many things so many people that talk about, I really want to do this. I should do this. And that's really hard to do, to just do it, And that's great that, number one, you had Sarah there to push you to that.
Yeah.
But it's still that next step of actually doing it. And that's a big thing. So go ahead, sorry.
So I just looked up recording studios in Cookeville. And first one I looked up was Sunday Drive Records, and I thought, I love the name of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. And this guy, Cody Smith, really helped me decide on what direction I wanted to do. And I really like what he did on production. But I recorded, except for one vocal part and the drums that he laid down, which I think on 2 or 3 songs, I recorded it all in my basement. I mean, it was all recorded there. But and I had been doing that, but I knew that I couldn't legitimately put it out because I didn't have a firm grasp on the mastering, the finishing, the polishing. I could record it, and I could get that pretty well, but there's lots of things I didn't have a good grasp on frequencies and how to make it sound like one well-rounded piece, And so I just went to him, and I really had like 50 songs.
Wow.
And that was like a portion of what I'd written. But those are like the 50 I thought could be something. And what we had to do is, I write, like if you listen to the intro, I write funky, kind of rock and roll, bluesy stuff. And then I write Beatlesque kind of stuff like it's on the album.
Yeah.
Or Americana.
Yeah, I was going to say Americana is really the category for this album.
Right.
It is. And I love Americana, me
Right.
personally. So I think that's why my wife and I love the album so much. But go ahead.
And I do too. And I feel like that's where I fit the best. And
I
also not having a full band. When I played in the band in college, we were like, everybody compared us to Radiohead and Coldplay and The Cure and stuff like that. So it had a totally different feel. I used the pedals and had all the sounds for the guitar, and I could figure out how to sing and play the leads and the rhythms and mix them in pretty well, a totally different feel than what I do now. And so what we decided on was to pick the songs that, I guess, fit that genre the best. And so we did that, and I wrote a couple, like this one that I just played was finished. It was not on anything else, never been played, completed until this album. So I would say it was written basically for that. And there's 2 or 3 others that came about right at that time. The song One Rainy Day, the one that you did the video for, and I'll let you hear it, it wasn't even this style. I mean, it was a cheesy little...
Yeah, I remember
60s piano. I played it on piano. That's where it was written.
Yeah, I remember you let me listen to different versions of the song, and when you let me listen to the other versions, like no, like I've got in my head how I want it, and it was amazing though that that wasn't the original way that you had planned it.
And it was originally a happy song, and I thought it just isn't me. It doesn't sound right. So I did the sadder song, and I wanted to write a story, and I wanted to write a strong female. Because it's always, I don't know, what
the guy's going through.
Yeah. And this still is what the guy's going through.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But the female has the upper hand in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be the James Dean kind of macho type in it, and that worked well. But then it was like, well, this is telling a story. It's telling more of a country story. So same chord progression that I had used before, but I just twanged it instead of like it's kind of like on the piano more like that, and then I thought, well, I'll give it more of a instead of that, country fright, and the chord progression doesn't necessarily lend itself that way, but it fits all together, and I do a key change in the middle of it to give it a little bit of a flair, and so it I really like that too. I'm glad you did, because it doesn't get as much attention as other songs on there, but I always thought the story on that was good.
I think that's what stood out, because I'll go ahead and tell the story that we went to see you play for the first time. And you did a little thing on Facebook that, hey, if you throw a song out there and if I play it, then you win a CD, which is always really cool. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there now. You play every last Saturday of the month at Robert's Family Diner in Sparta.
Right.
And so if you guys are local, you got to check out Marty. And even, check out Marty, number one, on the last Saturday of every month. But also great food, regardless. I mean,
one of the best burgers I've ever had.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ribeyes are great too.
I'm gonna have to look for sponsorship now. I'm gonna have to talk to Jerry and Eric about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I had won the CD, and because you had played "Bad Moon Rising" by was it "Bad Moon Rising" that I said by Creedence? Yeah. And you had played it and did such a great job. And so on the way home, we're like, hey, let's listen to the CD. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I am not, this is so bad of me to say, I'm not big on listening to new music. I reject it. And so I was like, you know what? He did such an awesome job. Let's listen to it. And Nicole loves music, so she was all the way ready to listen to it. And so we threw it in there, and I was like, wow, this is even better than what I thought it would be. And so we're like going through the songs, and we listened to the entire album because it's like a 30-something minute trip home, a 30-minute drive home. And we didn't get completely through it, but like we did get to number 6. And I told Nicole, I said, I've got an idea, like because when I used to do my comedy videos, I haven't done anything in like a year and a half, and that song, not to be all sentimental and stuff, it motivated me to want to do videos again. And because any of my comedy videos that I've done have been motivated by music. Like I would be at work working weekend shift, and I'm just listening to my iPod or whatever, and I don't know why, but music motivates me. And anyways, I told her, I said, I'd really like to do a video for this, but I don't know how I go about asking that, and I don't want to bite off more that I can chew because I've never done a music video before. But I love the song, and I felt like the song needed to be, because the song is a story, and I love stories and songs. And if you don't mind, do you mind playing that?
Yeah, I'll play it. I was telling Anthony earlier, to those of you that are listening, that it's really a tough song to sing, and my throat's a little raspy, so
I got a water behind you if you need to take a drink.
Yeah,
so.
I'm drinking the coffee. I'm sure that helps. But so you don't. A lot of these, funny enough, I'll preface it with this. A lot of the songs on the album were arranged differently than they ever were when I played them, or written new or whatever. And I know other people's songs better than I know my own, because it's still the same. I mean, I could pick it up and usually remember the lyrics and the chord progressions, but as far as being polished and just pulling it off, it's still learned. Just like you hear, I think it was Rush that said when they first got together, they sounded like a terrible garage band covering Rush, and then they sound like a decent Rush cover band, and through rehearsals they sounded like Rush,
Right.
So it just takes some time, and this chorus is pretty. I didn't realize how difficult it was, and you in the studio you got unlimited takes, but I'll do it because I think it's a great song,
Yeah.
and maybe this, if you haven't seen the video that Anthony and Lily did, and I will shout out my daughter, she and really Anthony for this, because he saw something in her, in I think the desire as well as her talent, and found that, and asked her to do specific things. He had a division in his head before he even asked for specific drawings and things, and so she did all the artwork, and then
she did awesome.
Edited, produced, directed, everything else with it, and I think it turned out great. I love the black and white drabness of it and everything. It's just it was excellent. So when you hear this version, go listen to the good one and watch the video with it. So. Oh, by the way, I figured out a way to put the banjo and the guitar part together. I was pretty excited. So.
Oh, nice.
I messed it up.
Oh, you're fine.
He sits alone, lights a cigarette, a broken heart, and he's soaking wet in the rain. In the rain. She's lying there in her wedding dress. It's been 3 days and her hair there's a mess and she cries. And she cries. You and I, we can try to work this out, but I know it's over. She leaves alone, lights a cigarette. Her face is calm, does it hide regret as she drives through the rain? The morning comes and the day is new. He still sits there thinking what to do with the sun on his face. You and I, we can try to work this out, but I know it's over. You and I, we can try to work this out, but I know it's over. I just can't take this anymore. No, I just can't take it anymore. He stands up straight and he turns around. He's through the door, wonders where she's bound with the sun on her heels. He heads back to the church where she never showed. He sits on the steps and will always know she was wrong. She was wrong. You and I, we can try to work this out, but I know it's over. You and I, we can try to work this out, but I know it's over.
Awesome, man. Great. Love that version. That was
Revised that ending there. It's
Yeah,
I
caught it.
anticipated.
I caught it, but it was good, man. Cool. That was definitely my favorite song on the album. I'll go ahead and throw this out there. Make sure that you do go to iTunes and check out Marty Usery's album. The name of the album is Average Day on Happy Street. Talk about the artwork on it.
Okay. Well, let me also say,
no, you can't. You can't say no. Go
Goodbye.
No,
either a mic
please.
drop or my headphones hitting the table that I'm trying to do. But you can also get it on Amazon.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can listen to it on Spotify. So, and there's other things. I'm going to get it on the radio. I'm going to get more things on YouTube, and hopefully I can talk Anthony into helping me do even more things.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
that. But the artwork is great. You know, I don't know what it is. I like to take, if I can, and I know this is not a big thing, but some people can be pompous about things, and I want to take everybody along with me as best I can, especially people that mean a lot to me. And
oh man, you don't have to thank me here. We've already talked. You just no, go ahead.
No, but for real, no.
Yeah. That's great though. That's great quality.
So my mother, who, you know, can't say enough good about her, love her to death. Always, more than anybody else, has always been my biggest supporter, unwaveringly, to the point of annoyance sometimes. I will say.
That's
but,
great.
But unwaveringly, would listen still to this day. If I say sometimes I stay around where she lives, and she'll come and I'll play songs for her today, you know, and she'll sit and listen patiently through everything. So has incredible art talent, just all through her life, and people have had her do things. And so I had a vision for that sounds so pretentious. I had a vision for this. No, but I had an idea.
When I first thought about this album,
I had a dream and woke up and sketched the album. I actually did sketch it. But I had an idea that I wanted to almost everything on the album cover is a piece or a thought or an idea of a song in there. And I really like that idea.
Wow, that's true. I never even pieced that together.
Yeah. And so I sketched it out, what I wanted, and then my mother came back and painted it. And it looks great. I couldn't, and I pushed her on it, and I know that she was probably about ready to quit, but she did it excellently. And then she had done a sketch, and Lily at the time would have been 6, maybe 5 or 6 when, and so Lily had drawn and helped to draw and done some things and painted with some watercolors and stuff on a sketch that my mom had done, and I thought, how great would it be to put the back cover to be Lily's drawing, the front cover to be my mom, because I want. She's very creative, and I want her to have something that she can go. I mean, I hope she may be like, but I hope that she'll go. Wow, that was an opportunity that I had. And it's something that'll be there forever. I mean, it's on a sleeve of an album.
Right. And
the kids were in the. I put them in a song with Lily giggling, and Henry would have been under 2 or 2, right around there. Halo was saying at the end of one of them, and I thought, so it's a recorded thing. It's out there. It's something they can say, my voice is on iTunes or whatever.
Yeah.
And Anthony, who's looking to make it big, I wanted to throw him a bone and let him do that. I appreciate what you did.
No, absolutely, because I knew I had seen her drawings you had posted on Facebook, and what better way, to have your kid be a part of this song. And I thought, if I can do that, she'll always be a part of that,
Right.
and like you said, for the same reason, look back and go, hey, and so now I just gotta get Henry involved somehow in something in the future, so he doesn't hate my guts 30 years from now. But I love the whole album is really good. I definitely agree with the influences, that you mentioned in this.
You know what I get all the time?
What?
People say, and I don't necessarily agree, especially the first song. People say sounds like Paul McCartney. I get that all the time, the bass playing and the voice, and I'm like, really? I've heard that multiple times. I'm like,
yeah, I could hear that.
I'm like, yeah, don't even put me in that category. It's unbelievable, But I got that over and over again. I was really surprised about that.
Well, no, it's not Paul McCartney, but no.
I think a lot of it though on that, because I did kind of mimic his bass style. I used to pick and then had all the strings.
I would really agree with that Paul McCartney statement, because I felt like there was definitely I think Nicole and I both felt like it was like a Beatle-ish thing, but we also agree no, not Beatles, it's something else, and it's Paul McCartney. I think that's that's a really good thing. I got the same thing. I got a lot of. Well, my comedy is Jerry Seinfeld. I'm kidding. It was nothing like Jerry Seinfeld. When I heard your act, it reminded me a lot of Jerry.
What's the deal?
Before he hit it big.
Right.
When he first started.
When he was a kid.
Horrible. But, I forgot about Spotify and all that stuff, because I don't do that. But that's great. I should have mentioned it. But if you do, there's no if. Check his stuff out on Spotify and Amazon, iTunes. It's Marty Usery, MartySuery. So make sure
it's Usery.
That's what I said, right?
You said Suery.
US. I'm sorry. I'll edit it to where I'm right and you sound wrong. I'll just go over that one part and go USER, and you go no, it's SU. And I said, I didn't say that. I'm sorry. I get caught up into my speaking, and I apologize. But so it's MartyUsery. I hope I'm right, and then maybe you just misunderstood what I said.
Absolutely not.
I know. It sucks. But okay, so let's get ready to wrap it up. But I have a couple questions for you here.
Okay.
Are you ready? You think you're ready for this?
No.
Yes, you are. You got this. Okay, first thing you wanted to be when you were a kid. What's the first thing you remember that you wanted to be when you were a kid?
Air Force pilot.
Air Force pilot. Okay. Last movie that made you cry?
All of them. No, I don't know. The last movie that made me cry? I don't know.
What's a movie that gets you every time, though?
I mean...
Braveheart? Braveheart's a good one.
Notting Hill, Love Actually.
Notting Hill, Love Actually.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Incredible Hulk. It made me cry. It was so terrible.
I didn't
the Aaron
specify
Bama
which cry.
version,
You're correct. That's true.
I don't know. I mean, if it's one of the emotional movies.
Oh man, I'm a wuss.
Yeah,
Commercials
yeah.
get me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and I have to be like, so Nicole doesn't know, but she knows. I'm such a wuss. All right, so what would you say to your past self if you could, see him today? What would you say to Marty when he was 18 years old if you could talk to him right now? Just a short little thing. Would you warn him about anything as far as, or tell him to relax?
Well, I'm a firm believer in your actions, make you who you are. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm happy with the person that I am and the life that I have. But I would say, 18-year-old Marty, you need to be more disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a dream, work a little harder to achieve it. Don't give up, and maybe have a goal besides music. Instead of just floating through life. But I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty. There's always things I would change, but in the overall spectrum, I'm happy with it.
Okay, that's good. All right, so this might be a little bit more difficult. What would you say to your future self? Because there's going to be about 15, 20 years from now that you're going to listen to this. And what are you going to say to future Marty right now?
I'm going to high-five him and say, "You're still alive!
You made it!
You exercised, apparently." I don't know.
That's a tough one. I mean, if you don't have an answer for that one,
what would I say? Ask the question again.
What would you say to future Marty right now if you could talk to him? He's listening to this right now. What would you say to him?
Don't forget what made you who you are, all the experiences.
There you go.
The relationships you've had with people. I'm big on trying to build experiences with my kids, my family, my friends, things that I can look back on. Because, I do reminisce.
That's good.
And
make sure, future Marty, you pay back Anthony $5. You gave it to, he actually let you borrow that in 2021. You still not paid him back. So roller coasters, yay or nay?
Yay.
I can't handle them. They're terrifying to me, and my stomach just gets. Okay, the word. Which one do you prefer, fart or poot?
It's all in context.
You got to pick one.
I use poot more often, but sometimes fart is the way to go.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely in context. But you're gonna go with poot.
Yeah.
Final answer. Okay. City, country, or beach?
Country.
Country. Okay. Age of your first kiss?
It was immediate. It didn't have an age. How old was my first kiss? You said age of your first kiss. I just like that. I've never heard it. What age was I at my first kiss?
Yeah. How old were you?
Let's see. When did I kiss my mom? 14 or 15.
14 or 15.
Yeah. I was a late bloomer.
Okay, first childhood crush of a celebrity, like musician or actress or.
First childhood crush. I really did like. What's her name? Erin Gray from Buck Rogers, the TV show. She was really pretty.
Wow, that's old school, man. That's pretty.
But I don't know if that was the first. But
I was expecting maybe like Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell, and you're freaking out. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. I like that. Okay, best character trait.
For me?
Yep. What's your best character trait?
That's like digging in a jar of pennies. There's so many.
Humbleness, humility.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, come on, What is it? What's something?
What do you think my best character trait is?
Your love for your family is amazing. Your willingness to. That's rare that people want to include their family in that stuff and bring them along, and that's really good because I think, and I don't even know if that's a trait or not, but that's something that's admirable. I believe that you have, and that's something I strive for daily. Is I want my family to go along with me as well. So,
well, I think one thing is, I spent so many years on the road and really had to just pick and choose weekends and random days, really to spend with my family. So I don't know that I don't know how it would have been without that. Again, so that's why I think, it was, I hated it.
Yeah.
But maybe that made our family more tight-knit because of it. So I'll take whatever. You can make something good out of anything, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, I love my creativity. I like, I do genuinely care about people, and I like to forge those relationships. But I can also be terrible about keeping up with people. So I mean, that's I don't know what.
Well, I think you're the type of person though that if you're a friend of Marty's and you're in need, Marty's gonna, if you need it, let him know, and he'll do his best to find somebody else to help you.
That's right.
But
depends on what's on TV.
But seriously though, I definitely think that's a good quality that you have. Worst character trait.
I'm incredibly lazy.
This seems easy for you because you just answered that. You were just like, oh, I didn't even. You're like, you're lazy. I mean, I'm bad for that now.
I'm driven.
Do you think it's our age?
No.
Has it always been there? Yeah, because you just spoke to 20 years.
I'm driven and lazy at the same. It's weird, Like I'll get going on something and you can't stop me, or I just can't get going, And
man, that's so true. That's something I definitely deal with. That's a good way to put it.
A lot of that I've found is fear, it masked in laziness. Like I say, I mean, I don't like getting in front of people, but that's what I do for fun, and that's what I do for my job. And sometimes I procrastinate and don't do things that people would say we're lazy, but I don't do it because there's fear there. I don't want to go do that.
Yeah, no,
so,
I understand.
I don't know. So,
no, that's a good answer. I like the way you answered that. Okay, last question. Did you have fun? This seems like it's right there with the best character trait. It's difficult for you to answer.
No, I had a great time. It was even more fun than I thought, and I wish we could just keep going. I've got so much
wait a
more
minute.
stuff
Hold on. Wait. More fun than what you thought? What were you expecting? Misery?
Kind of how my album was better than you thought. No.
I had this. I think this was really the point of this podcast is get to know my family and friends and anybody else I can get on here for that matter. But I think this is great. I've enjoyed listening to you talk about, like I mentioned before, your love for your family. I think it's really cool listening to you talk about, how, you played the exit in. I never knew stuff like that. That's what this is about, and I think that's been really cool to hear that.
I have a gift for you on your inaugural. Podcast for this. I printed out the lyrics for my song "One Rainy Day," and I wrote you a little note on it, and I didn't frame it because I'm too lazy.
We're getting back to that worst character trait again.
No, I mean, this may not mean anything to you, but
all right, let me see what this. This
but
is
I wrote
awesome.
you a little note. And that because I know you like the song a lot, and
I
really appreciate your friendship and what you've done.
Thanks a lot. There's a lot of cuss words in it, but I mean the overall. No, this is awesome, Marty. Thank you so much, and I will definitely frame this, and this will be posted up on my basement wall here for me to see because I'm really proud of the video. If you guys get a chance, also check out on YouTube the video Marty and I did together. In Lily as well. Lily is the creative force behind the art of it, and but it's the video for One Rainy Day on YouTube. So definitely check that out because the song is great, the artwork is great, and I really enjoyed making the video. And I definitely want to do this again. Because this has been really awesome, and I think I had fun.
I want to play out one little thing for you.
Okay. First off, I want to thank Marty for being here for the episode. I had a great time, Marty. And guys, thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Thank you.
This is the exit music. for the My Peep Show. This is the exit music for the My Peeps Show. This is the part where they put all the boring stuff, like who produced it, wrote it and such. This is the exit music for the My Peeps Show. This is the exit music. Why are you even still here looking at this stuff? For the My Peep Show.